Have you ever wondered what the people who actually own annuities say about them? I have too. And today we're going to discuss the top 5 benefits that people report after owning an annuity. Hi, everyone. It's Marty Becker, owner of Atlas Financial Strategies in St. Louis, Missouri, where we specialize in safe money retirement strategies. Coming to you today with episode number 48 of the Atlas Annuity Podcast. In today's episode, we're actually going to take a look at a study involving approximately 1,025 people over the age of 60 that was conducted by BlackRock to figure out what are the best benefits and the top benefits that people have experienced while owning their annuities. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with BlackRock, I think everybody's heard of them by this point, but they are an enormous brokerage house that manages something like over $1 trillion in assets, with the main source of that money being kind of employer benefit programs. And I was wondering, why would BlackRock, with $1 trillion in assets under management, take the time and the expense to conduct a survey like this? And it turns out that BlackRock is actually starting to recommend annuities, which is a great thing. And I'll comment a little bit more on that towards the end of the podcast. So let's jump right into this. Like I mentioned, they surveyed over 1,000 people over the age of 60 who currently own annuities. And it appears one of the other criteria is they're already collecting income from it. Of those who are already retired, 85% say lifetime income makes a bigger difference than they thought it would in retirement. This kind of goes back to the old adage of what I harp on a lot is the people who had defined benefit pension plans never really worried about money. So let's get into the top 5 reasons that the people who were surveyed like and appreciate the fact that they have these annuities. Okay, number 1, longer lives, more peace of mind. People are living longer, and that should be a good thing for most people. The top 3 reasons for buying a guaranteed lifetime income annuity all relate to longevity. They were looking for peace of mind that savings would not run out, more assurance that essential expenses would be covered for life, and extra protection in case they live a long life. Number 2, with a guarantee, less financial stress. It's the number one financial fear. I talk about this a lot. Outliving your money. 97% of annuity owners say their annuities help them worry less about running out of money. That's amazing. You can't get 97% of people to agree on anything. So that part's amazing. And 93% say having an annuity helps them worry less about day-to-day expenses. Again, another thing I talk about a lot. Let's get your living expenses covered. The number 3 top benefit, greater uncertainty, more security. A volatile, uncertain economy can also affect financial fitness. And 88% of annuity owners say their annuities help ease worries about the possibility of a stock market downturn. This is what I refer to as sleep insurance. Now, this part is interesting right here, doing the mental health math. It makes sense. The bigger the annuity, the more owners said it helped them worry less about outliving their savings. But even of those who receive less than $10,000 annually from their annuity, more than half said it eases that stress. Now, this part is interesting because they're stating and they're referring to something that is completely subjective. Now, we can actually prove mathematically what they're saying subjectively here. We can actually prove it objectively that in most cases, the more money you put into the income annuity, the better your long-term results financially. The reason being is because when you have the majority or all of your expenses or all of your expenses plus some mad money covered on a guaranteed basis, you can actually take more risk with the rest of your money because you're able to ride the ups and downs of the market from that point on, not worrying about, oh my gosh, I just lost 30% and now I got to take out all my living expenses on top of it. So what they're saying is completely subjective. What we can look at is completely objective, just using math. Okay, number 4, top benefit reported: more savings safeguards, less vulnerability. The AARP reports that older Americans lose $28.3 billion annually to elder financial exploitation and fraud. That is disgusting. There's a special place in hell for people who take advantage of the elderly. And if you've ever had a close family friend or a family member who has dealt with dementia, or God forbid, even full blown Alzheimer's, it is a devastating disease to watch. And to think that there's people out there who take advantage of those type of people who are suffering with that medical condition is absolutely disgusting. 84% of annuity owners say annuities help make you less vulnerable to financial fraud or bad investment decisions later in life. Retirees are also considering aging and their ability to make sound financial decisions. Okay, this is a real concern for a lot of people. And if it's not to you, it should be. You know, the marbles start to fall out of the sack as you get older. Okay, that's not an insult to our senior population. It's unfortunately just a fact of life. It's gonna happen to the best of us. Okay, but 92% say that an annuity makes it easier to manage them in older age when decision making sometimes becomes harder. And then the top fifth benefit is steadier income, more spending. Now, I just did a recent podcast on this very subject of another study that came out. And I talk about it a lot that when you have a guaranteed income coming in and you know it's going to show up next month and it is totally separated from anything that happens in the economy or the stock market or who's the president, which is a hot topic right now because the election is in about a week from the time of this recording, people tend to spend that money freely when they know it's going to show up again next month. So here's what the survey says: retirees do not like spending down their nest eggs. Annuities help ease those spending fears, say our survey participants. 53% say that owning one makes them feel more comfortable spending non guaranteed assets if there's something they want or need to spend money on, which again is the whole point of working your entire life and saving all that money to live the life you've been wanting to live and do it without the fear of running out of money. And 61% of annuity owners are very or extremely confident they can withdraw sustainably. So, this is a very positive sign when you have these enormous financial institutions starting to publish research like this and promoting guaranteed income. And I think it's because the old advice of just having a diversified portfolio, people are starting to catch on that it's a substandard retirement plan. The majority of people out there, at least the ones I talk with, they want to get back to the days, especially if you're a baby boomer like your parents had, they want to get back to the days of having a guaranteed pension like income that they know is going to be there no matter how long they live. Now, I know Fidelity is definitely recommending annuities and they work with 5 different companies, but I wanted to check because I figured if BlackRock is laying out the money and the time to conduct a research survey like this, it's a pretty good indicator that they're probably getting into the annuity game. So I did some research, and in today's world, research means I Googled it and found that BlackRock is indeed offering annuities inside of their program. Now, as of right now, it looks like BlackRock is working with only 2 companies out of 200. Now, let me be very clear. These 2 companies that you're seeing on the screen, Bright House and Equitable, there's nothing wrong with either one of those companies. They've both been around for a very long time. The problem is when you're working with a captive advisor, like a BlackRock advisor, they are basically beholden to what they can offer you. And maybe they're working with more companies and it's just not listed here, or maybe they'll bring more on as time continues, which that would be ideal. But as of right now, it looks like maybe they're working with 2 out of 200 companies. So when you're working with a captive advisor, this is what they have to offer you. So if you're in the situation to where you have money in a 401k and the advisor who is appointed to you is recommending an annuity, you need to do yourself a favor and get a second opinion from a non-captive advisor who can look at all the companies that are out there in the marketplace to really determine who is going to give you the best deal for your money. And if you're just new to annuities and you're trying to learn about them, I'm going to recommend that you go watch my flagship video series, which is 20% more spendable income in retirement, because I go through 4 case studies that show you how to use annuities in the most effective manner to get you the most in return for the amount of money that you put into them. The best way to do that is you can just go directly to my website, which is atlasannuity.com. Click on the videos tab and they'll pop right up. And then after you get some more education, or if you just have some general questions, again, atlasannuity.com, you will find my calendar page. You can book a short phone call and we can find out if the Atlas Annuity strategy is going to work for you. Now, if you're watching this and you like the information, please do us a favor, subscribe and like the podcast, share it with someone that you think could benefit from this information, and we'll try to keep producing good educational content for the masses. Again, this is Marty Becker coming to you with episode number 48 of the Atlas Annuity Podcast, wishing you all the best in your financial education, and we'll see you in the next episode.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Atlas Annuity Podcast. All information presented is for educational purposes only and is not a recommendation to implement any tax strategy, nor is it a recommendation to buy, sell, or transfer any security or insurance products. Atlas Financial Strategies Incorporated is an insurance-only licensed entity, and any decisions to buy or sell securities should be discussed with a licensed securities advisor, and any tax strategy should be discussed with a licensed tax professional. Past performance of any strategies or products mentioned are not a guarantee of future returns. For any other questions or concerns, please go to www.atlasannuity.com.